That's my baby.
I'm Dana Denha.
And I'm Melissa Bondi, and this is Adventures in Parenthood. Throughout this series, we will explore the world of raising kids through newborn, through adulthood.
In this episode, we're going to take a deeper look at food allergies. It's a medical issue we're hearing more and more about, and even if your own family isn't afflicted, you should still be conscious of the people around you. Melissa, you actually, more recently, have a family member that has a food allergy.
I do. My 20-month-old daughter has an egg allergy.
And how did this come? How did you find out about her allergy?
Pretty easily. I gave her scrambled eggs one day when I had them and thought, well, eggs, they say, you know, it's easy food for a 8-9-month-old to eat, and I did, and it was immediate hives on the face, popping out, neck, and that's how we found out pretty immediately.
Well, and so, you actually, probably not thinking, for her first birthday, gave her cake.
Yep, and that was the icing on the cake, so to speak. We did the smash cake, first birthday, most parents do, have a little party, and we decided to have her, she had her own little cake, and put it in front of her. She kind of played, didn't really know what was happening, so we went ahead and did let's take the cake and the frosting and smash it on her face.
Yeah.
Get some cute pictures, and sure enough, hives, immediate, neck, face, and there's egg and cake. And not necessarily frosting, but it was the cake.
Yeah.
So that was validated the second time, and then we went to the allergist, and he pretty much confirmed that without having to do any testing. He said, I don't need to test, we don't need to put her through that, she's got it.
Did they say anything, because I know with eggs and peanut butter, they say to give it to them when they're like 6 months, as soon as they can kind of eat. Right. And you waited a little while to give her eggs. Do they think that was a contributing factor, or did anyone ever say that to you? Or?
No, nothing.
I mean, she was still pretty young. It's not like you waited years to give her eggs.
Oh, right. We knew what we wanted to do before the age of 1. We wanted to give her this stuff. And yeah, so no. And also the other misconception, which I believe, and maybe I'm wrong again, this isn't a scientific fact, I ate eggs all through my pregnancy. A lot, every day.
Yeah.
So no, and I'm not allergic to them, so, and she is. So yeah, that's part of a misconception too, is what you eat. I'm sure there are some things, parents, you know, mothers and women, but eggs is definitely not one, and this came out of left field for us.
So what do you do around your house now that you have this
Oh
egg
my
allergy?
gosh, labels, everything. Reading labels, I have to, everything. And then, you know, an egg is in so many things that you don't. And one of the biggest ones we found that people are like, I don't know, eyes wide open is ranch dressing. So it's like, oh, give them veggies. Oh, get your veggies. Here, we'll add a little ranch. Just can't risk it. So I think that was part of the misconception there too, is people don't understand egg is in so many items. And oh my gosh. So we've learned to read, and restaurants are a challenge too. You know, just, I don't know what you're cooking with. Some things you know right off the bat. You can't have pancakes at a restaurant. It's kind of, you just know.
Yeah.
But a lot of things like that we're conscious of.
Well, we have a family here that has some food allergies of their own. Do you want to introduce them, Melissa?
Yep. Joining us today is a family that knows food allergies all too well and how they can affect your everyday life. Welcome Autumn Chefan, who is mother to Devin, who is age 12, and also Sammy, who is age 8. And they're all here today because the girls both have pretty life-threatening food allergies, and obviously they're a little bit older than my daughter, so we're going to talk with them and find out. Welcome to the show, girls.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course. So Autumn, tell me a little bit, real briefly, about how you found, what they are, the allergies, and how you found out with both the girls.
Okay. Both girls are allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, and pine nuts. The tree nuts, they each have their own different tree nuts that they're allergic to, so we just avoid altogether. But Devin was just a little bit over a year, And I had made her a peanut butter sandwich on some good whole wheat bread and cut it all up nice for her. And the first time she had it, she loved it. She thought it was the best thing ever. The second time she had it again, and then the third time she had it was when her face broke out in hives. So I called the pediatrician right away, wondering what was going on, and she said, yep, she's got a peanut allergy. You need to avoid peanuts and tree nuts. And at the time, their allergist was recommending to wait till age 4 in case she was to grow out of it, and then she could do the skin prick test. So that's kind of the guidelines that we followed for that.
Okay.
But then Samantha, so we still had peanut butter in the house, and we had tree nuts in the house, because they just said for her, just don't let her have any of it. So then when Samantha came along, she was about 8 months old at the time when we found out, and I was running an in-home daycare, and one of the other children had eaten a peanut butter sandwich. Then I cleaned everything up and I put Samantha in the high chair, and as soon as I pulled her out, both legs, it was a contact reaction. She was covered in hives. So, and the same deal, he said, wait till she's 4, then you can do the skin prick test then, and then, confirm. And we did with both girls. And peanuts, they welted up humongous, and then tree nuts, were a little bit smaller.
Is it unusual to have multiple kids that have the same sort of food allergy?
Yes. It's not. And both their dad and I do not have any food allergies at all. So this kind of came as a surprise to us. So
yeah, same here. We don't have any allergies ourselves either. So
yeah,
you just don't know who it's going to pick and choose. It's unfortunate, but I know that you girls are doing sounds like you guys have it under control. Obviously, it's been some time now.
Yeah.
What did you guys bring today? That you guys
EpiPens.
take. And what are the EpiPens for? How do you use them?
You use some to inject yourself with epinephrine. That way everything opens up and your blood starts to pump and your...
And I understand you guys have not had to use them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been told by our allergist that on several occasions when they've had severe reactions and gone to the hospital that we should have used them. But it was just a matter of we're new to this also, and we didn't start strict avoidance until probably about 5 years ago when we changed allergists. So our home is now peanut and tree nut free.
Okay.
So we're learning just like everybody else. So we carry them everywhere we go, and then we know now more what to look for in the event of a severe reaction.
And the girls are actually homeschooled, so you're not dealing with outside factors as often, but you're still dealing with it. I mean, even going to a friend's house or a relative's house.
Just going to the grocery store and shopping. Just, free samples everywhere. They want to give you something, and your kids can have it. And I'll say, well, do you know if there's peanuts or tree nuts in it? Oh, it'll be fine. And then they want to hand it off to your kid. And we are very strict label readers, and we actually have called manufacturers as well to see, do they use dedicated lines? Do they have peanuts or tree nuts in the facility?
There was something you guys just told me about the story where you were at, was it the auto show?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that, because that was pretty
scary.
Frightening story you told.
Yes. A couple years ago, we had purchased a new vehicle, and so we got free tickets to the auto show, and the kids have never been, and that's a huge event. And very exciting. And so we knew that they both had peanuts and tree nuts, but we didn't know, Samantha is contact reactive and ingestive reactive, but we didn't know about airborne. And sure enough, we went to the Detroit Auto Show, and they roast almonds at every single doorway, and it smells amazing. But within 10 minutes, her body started shutting down. So do you want to tell them what your body does when you have an allergic reaction?
Your eyes get watery. You get very, very sleepy, like your body shuts down. You get hives everywhere. It feels like a golf ball in your throat.
Yeah. How's the breathing? Is that affected? Like you, like wheezing type breathing? How's the breathing?
Does your breathing get bad?
A little.
A little.
But it's definitely got to be nerve-wracking to see hives all over the body.
Well, and she, you saw when we were getting ready, she's a very bouncy, active person. So when she goes into anaphylaxis, she literally shuts down. So she gets very tired, very lethargic, and to see her go from bouncy kid to like collapsing kid, it's terrifying.
You know right away that there's something wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So you took it so what happened when you took her out of?
So when we took her out of the atmosphere and she got some fresh air, within a few minutes she was doing fine. So it's just the actual roasting of the nuts there. So if we go someplace where they're roasting peanut butter, we just have to leave right away, because for her, Devin didn't have a reaction that day. But
So she's probably not getting the airborne.
yeah,
Not that you know of.
not
at
that
this
we know
point.
of, yes.
So the one thing I was curious about is the way the EpiPen works, and when you said you haven't used it, but what if you do use it and you don't need it, or is it best just to use it when you?
They always
when
say,
in doubt.
Yeah, they always say if two parts of your, two systems of your body are shutting down, so if you have the runny nose and the watery eyes and hives, then you should go ahead and epi. And they say epi first and epi fast, and then call 911. So my understanding is that the epinephrine, unless you have an underlying heart condition, is not going to do anything to your body. So if we were to epi and then we didn't need it, it wouldn't cause as much problem as if we just didn't use it.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been told to do.
How many do you have to keep around the house?
We keep 2 on each of the girls at all times.
Okay.
But right now we have 8 currently that we travel with.
And do they expire?
Yes.
That's the part that sucks.
That is the part that stinks.
Yeah.
They do usually expire. Before it was always 1 year.
Yeah.
They were good for 1 year. Now I think the shelf life is a little bit longer. So I think they're lasting about 2 years. But a lot of insurances don't cover it. Or the
Which is
copay
crazy.
is very high. It is very crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you kind of know some stats about food allergies. How many people are really afflicted by it? Because it does seem like you hear about it more often, but it also could be like maybe it was sort of like autism, where you just people were underdiagnosed.
Yeah.
And now people are actually getting diagnosed with food allergies.
Yes. Millions of Americans actually have food allergies, and it's about 1 in 13 children. So usually 2 in every classroom are going to have a food allergy of some sort. So
Are you familiar with, or have you gotten people said to you, not necessarily with nuts, but a food allergy versus a food intolerance?
yes,
Because I think that frustrates a lot of parents.
yes. There's a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
With a food intolerance, it is, you feel uncomfortable. You might get a bloated tummy.
Yep.
You might, maybe have some diarrhea.
Yeah,
but it's very mild. So usually an intolerance you can work through, your body can work through it. A food allergy, your body is actually fighting it with everything that it can to stop the food allergen. And it sees it as, as an enemy, and it just tries to shut everything down. So it's totally different, and there are a lot of people who do have food intolerances, and that's becoming more of a thing too. But food allergies are deadly.
Are there? I'm assuming there's like the typical food allergies, and then maybe some strange ones that you've encountered along the way.
What are the top 8 allergens, baby?
Peanuts, tree nuts, fish, shellfish, eggs, gluten, dairy, and I forgot the last one.
I think you got them all.
Okay.
I think.
With gluten would be wheat,
Wait,
right?
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can virtually be allergic to any food. Any food can cause an allergic reaction at any age. My father, my mom told me just the other day, he's been able to take antibiotics his whole entire life, and just the other day he took some amoxicillin. He's 60 years old and he had an allergic reaction. So it can happen at any time. People who have eaten peanut butter their entire life, at age 24, they have a peanut butter sandwich and go into anaphylaxis.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the same with any sort of allergy. I mean, you can all of a sudden have allergies to outdoor things that you
Yes.
never had.
Yeah.
At 50, you can get an
Yes.
allergy to an outdoor.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like anything where all of a sudden it can just, you don't expect it. And maybe it's harder for people at like age 50 to get a food allergy or an allergy to a medication because they're not expecting it. This has
Right.
been okay my whole life. Why would I
Yes.
think
and
anything
and
else?
they don't understand. Yes.
Well, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with more about food allergies. We're back with more on food allergies with Devin, Autumn, and Sammy. They're kind of experts in the field because it's half your family's afflicted, basically. So you kind of know what you're talking about here. So we're going to talk a little bit about what a normal day is. Like, let's talk to Devin here. What's your normal day, and how does your food allergy affect you?
Well, basically, you like wake up like any other kid, and then you like check all the labels that you're gonna eat.
Okay.
Like if you're about to eat cereal and your mom bought it, you still want to double check it.
So you double check what your mom's buying too?
Yeah.
I don't double check anything because I can't read yet.
Not yet. I'm like, not yet, but you probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then and then we check like if we're going somewhere special, we check the label, or we check like what they're making, what oil they put it in, what exactly we're gonna eat.
What about, tell me about restaurants when you guys go out, or how is that? Do you already know, kind of going to the restaurant, where you're going, you know what the menu is already?
Yeah.
Like what you're gonna order?
Yeah.
You pretty much know. Do you have favorites? Like what's some of your favorites?
Like Red Robin, Sonic,
Okay.
fast food.
Well, okay, so you guys,
Any fast food.
you guys just,
What is your favorite meal altogether? It can be your mom's dish.
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas? What about
Enchiladas.
you, Sammy?
Favorite food.
What's your favorite food?
It's a tough one.
Does that include candy?
Yeah, yeah.
well, speaking of candy, tell me about Halloween.
We go around houses. Get it all. Like, let's say there's Reese's or anything. At the end, we take it all out. If something came out, we get rid of all of it just to be safe.
Yeah.
And we sort it.
Yeah.
Sort it.
Do a lot of sorting, yeah.
Do you ever
lot.
feel like you're missing out on certain foods that you can't? Like, do you have a friend that's like, oh, I just love Nutrageous candy bars, or
No.
something like that?
Not really. Not really.
What about you, Sammy?
Our cousins do that sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
People have said in the past, they don't really do it so much anymore, but they'll say, oh my gosh, you're missing out. Peanut butter is the best thing ever. And it's like, okay, but that is something that could send them to the hospital. So why would you even say that to them?
It's that. I think it's kind of those insensitive, that they don't realize that they're
And they
being
don't realize that,
insensitive.
yes, for
I've had
sure.
a couple of people say stuff to me already, and I'm like,
Yes.
I felt the same way.
Yes.
And I'm learning to keep my mouth shut and just say, yeah, unfortunately, she can't
Right.
right now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And as they get older, they're talking up more for themselves. Like, well, but
good.
we eat sunflower butter instead, which is just as delicious, So they stand up for themselves.
So do you girls, we talked about your bags, your purses, and tell me about that. How is it taking those around with you? I mean, Dana and I, we have our own purses, so we know what it's like to have a purse.
But I definitely didn't have a purse at 8. I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
At
I
8
was like,
years
tell
old.
me.
Well, it's a habit.
It's just part of habit, right?
Yeah, like you put it on, like, yeah, like you take it to birthday parties, you take it to the park, you take it.
And do people ask what that is, or do they assume it's just a purse?
No one really asks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they already know.
Do you have other friends that have food allergies that you hang out with, or?
Some friends.
Well, because you guys are kind of
what
in the
about our
world of
friends'
food allergies. You do the annual
sister?
walk and.
So most of our some of our homeschool friends have food allergies,
I do.
and that's why they got pulled out.
Ah, okay.
Do you find, Autumn, you might want to answer this. When the girls were going to public school, did you find there was a lot of challenges with keeping track of the foods that were coming into the school that could affect the girls?
Yes. They now have a 504 plan, which is really smart to do for public school. It's covered under the American Disabilities Act. And basically what it does is it ensures the safety of your child. It ensures protocol will be followed when there is an allergic reaction, and also make sure that they're included in everything. Because sometimes teachers will just want to put the kids to the side and say, okay, well, you just can't do this, the rest of the class is going to do it. And you can't do that. In a public school setting, you can't do that. It's not fair.
No.
And it's good to teach the rest of the kids empathy and understanding for what another child might be going through. So, so when they were going to public school, we made sure that we had the 504 plan. Most school districts have a 504 coordinator. So you just meet with them and you tell them all the different things that you're worried about and different circumstances that might come up, like holiday parties or weekly birthday parties, and how the classroom's going to handle it. So
have you heard any sort of negativity maybe from other parents dealing with, when they're told, you can't bring any peanuts into the school?
Absolutely, yes.
You do.
Unfortunately, the American diet is built on peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, as soon as they're told that they can't bring peanut butter to school, then some parents do kind of flip out a little bit.
Really?
But I think that the more that, as a food allergy parent, the more that I'm calm and I just try to educate them instead of being like, my kid could perish, instead of being dramatic about it. If I just explain it to them, hey, these are some good alternatives, or hey, why don't we bring this instead?
Right.
Most parents are very understanding. And every time that somebody has gone out of their way for our family, I thank them profusely because they don't understand what a huge impact that is on our family.
Right, and I kind of feel, right, I think that the empathy is what parents are wanting the most.
Yes.
And I feel, from what I've understood and what I've read and what I've heard, that barrier is somewhat breaking down, and people are becoming, I don't know if it's because more kids are having allergies and they can relate, but I feel as if that's a barrier that's, kind of maybe going by the wayside, hopefully.
Yeah, I think the more that you talk about it, raise awareness, educate people, the better.
And one of the ways to raise awareness that you're involved with is FAIR. What does the acronym stand for, first of all?
It's Food Allergy Research and Education.
Yes.
So FAIR is like the #1 national nonprofit organization that really fights for families that have food allergies. And they raise a lot of money every year by doing different events. Like you had talked about for Halloween, there is something called the Teal Pumpkin Project that we participate in, where you make a cute little teal pumpkin and you put a sign at your house that just lets people know there are non-food items at our house, so come on over and we'll give you some cool stuff. They do something called Red Sneakers for Oakley, which was about a young boy that passed away last year. So his mom started a nonprofit, and FAIR is like the umbrella for all of that. And they have initiatives all over the country. They do a walk every year nationwide. So you can actually go to foodallergy.org and learn about where the walk is in your city. And then you meet awesome people, meet other food allergy families, connect with them, and educate people.
Yeah, and it is coming to Ann Arbor, Detroit area. So
it
there is one locally. I know we looked it up. So
yes.
We're super.
Yep, and I'm on the committee this year. So, so hopefully it's fabulous.
And that's annual.
Yes, every year.
Yep.
I don't know if it'll be in Ann Arbor every year, but there's always a fair walk in Michigan every year.
There'll be one in the surrounding area at least. And is it usually fall-ish?
Usually,
time of year?
yep,
Yeah.
yep, the beginning of the year. And they have usually like a local celebrity that has a food allergy that will talk. They usually have allergists that will talk. They have free samples that you can take home and enjoy later, to try different products for your family.
Okay.
If you could tell, so maybe, I don't think Melissa's involved with FAIR yet, but maybe try to tell people that are dealing with a food allergy why they should get involved with FAIR.
Well, FAIR is great because they do have educational initiatives. So you can go on their website and you can find posters, you can find checklists to give to your allergist or to give to your school, to your teachers. So it's really just a resource for parents who maybe don't know what to do next. They can go there and find all sorts of information.
Okay. I've been in talks, so that's how we came in contact with you. We were put in touch.
Yes.
So definitely we'll look more into it for myself and other people I know who have it, because I don't know that they're familiar with this, but they need to be and they should be.
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely.
So where do you see everyone in the family today with the food allergies, and is there any chance that they could grow out of them at this point, or that ship has sailed?
Their allergist has said the peanuts they probably will not grow out of.
Yeah.
Because when they do yearly skin prick tests and blood tests to reconfirm every year. Yeah, they don't like the.
I can't imagine they feel good at all.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
You just you write that day on your calendar and just look forward to it every day, every year.
Can't they just give you a little
Can you
bit
tell
of
me, Devin? Give me an example. What do they do for the prick?
For the skin prick test.
So they basically have this big container thing that they put different peanut oils or tree nut oils in. So it's probably 8 like in this big thing, and then you have to, then they push it down on your back, so then you have to sit there for like 20 minutes waiting for it.
So they do them all at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
how-
usually have a panel
Yeah.
of what they're testing you for.
How many are you getting now? Getting tested for?
I don't know.
So she usually gets the whole panel of tree nuts.
Yeah.
And then peanuts, and then there's also the default to just, you know, to make sure that there is a reaction. So she usually has all of those. This one, we thought she was allergic to a natto for a while, which is a seed. So she had to have that, and she's had environmental testing.
Down here.
So, and each time it's, each time it's, you know, usually about 8 different things that they test.
Can you hold that up in your lap?
We hold them up.
So we can see that it actually tells what
So it
your
says
allergy is.
Allergy warning, and it says each of them.
Yeah. So a natto is what colors things orange and yellow. So like your cheeses, your yogurts, even they use it in Kraft macaroni and cheese now.
Don't they also use in that other kind of Cheez-Its?
Yep, they use it in certain kinds of Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
So we avoided that for 6 months because she had had a reaction that sent her to the hospital, and until it was definitive that it was peanut, we thought it was a natto. So.
And let me ask you real quick, what about sesame?
So sesame is up and coming. Like a lot of people are,
Yeah.
we thankfully are not allergic to sesame.
Okay.
I mean, we're honestly, we are thankful for the ones that we have and that we feel we can control to the best of our ability.
Absolutely.
Food allergies are very scary, and there are so many different ones out there, and we're just, you know, I think we're controlling ours as well as we can.
I'm thinking you guys have it under control. Unfortunately,
trying.
we found out difficult ways, had a couple incidences, but nothing life-threatening, thank God. So
Yes.
wonderful. I want to thank you guys, all 3 of you guys, so much for
Yeah.
coming on today.
It was great chatting.
Thank you for having us.
again,
Having
so
us.
educational for all of us. So
Good.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, thanks for watching. If you have an idea for a parenting show topic or a guest, contact us at ctn@a2gov.org or talk to us on Twitter or Facebook at #CTN Ann Arbor.
For more on programming and services available at CTN, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Thanks for joining us on Adventures in Parenthood. Until next time.